like, share, subscribe. Shouts out to the Lions Den community. And don't y'all forget to subscribe to the podcast show. Link will be pinned in the top of the chat.
Just name the channel who could bang with us. I'll prove that you are smoking dust. GTV Media is top notch in this game, y'all. You failures only have yourself to blame, y'all. Cricket TV and a weapons make you suckers cry. Why don't you close your channel, crawl into a hole and die? Shout out to those who love our movement, no, we'll never flop until you get your mouth off LGBT. We are the underground outfit, y'all. We built this whole thing by ourselves, no in y'all. Independence up with self-preservation. If you can't take care of self, then how can you build a nation, y'all? Yup, we got that merch for the ladies and yes, we even got that merch for the babies and we got appliances and everything that you will need. We got some banging songs that make anemic haters bleed.
All right, man. Y'all press 1 if y'all can hear me in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Got a mic check. 1 2 1 2. Can you guys hear me in the comment section? Salute to everybody that's tapped in. Can y'all hear me in the comment section? Can y'all hear me in the comments? Y'all can hear me? All right, man. So they got the verdict back in on counts 2, 3, 4, and 5. I see all y'all anxious to say it in the comment sections. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Who is this? Oh, okay. So yeah, man. We're gonna wait because they're probably gonna be sent back in to deliberate some more on these charges, you guys, because they couldn't come to a conclusion on the RICO, which means they're split, which means that you got some people in there that's in on the RICO, that's off on the RICO. You know what I'm saying? So I believe what's going to happen is that the judge is going to make them continue to deliberate. And if they can't deliberate, here's the thing: what's going to happen? There can be a partial verdict. And what happens is this: if it's a partial verdict and they are hung on the RICO charge, the government would just retry the RICO charge, which means Diddy will sit in jail until another year, and they'll just retry the RICO charge if they can't come to a verdict. But the judge is going to go in there and tell them to take longer. You understand what I'm saying? He's going to go in there and tell them to take longer on that charge. Obviously, it's a guy who doesn't agree on, I guess, some of the RICO charges. So, I mean, people don't, you got to think these are human beings too. Some people think, hey, man, I don't want to take all Diddy's money. You know what I'm saying? They may think, hey, man, look, he's on this, but he ain't on that. So very interesting situation going on. But the only thing that happens is this. They're going to come out there and the judge is going to tell them, look, go back in there and deliberate some more. That's what Diddy's lawyers wants. That's what the government wants. So Diddy's lawyers may feel like, hey, he going to get off. You know what I'm saying? They want a judgment. You know what I'm saying? So Diddy's lawyers may feel like, hey, man, we going to walk away. You know what I mean? Hold on 1 second, y'all. The judge asked about an Allen charge. Now, hold on 1 second, you guys. Hold on 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Hold on, y'all. I don't know why somebody keeps trying to send me a message. Somebody keeps trying to send me a message. Hold on. Y'all give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. So the jury says that the opinions are unpersuadable. So it looks like you're going to have a hung jury on the RICO charge, which means it's going to be a mistrial declared, which means that Diddy will sit in jail and they'll run it back. And then what's going to happen is that the government is going to have a whole nother year while Diddy sits in jail to retry that charge to get more evidence against Sean Diddy Combs. So really, that's an advantage for the government if they do the retrial, and it'll be a whole different jury for that. You know what I'm saying? if they do the retrial on the RICO. So that means there'll be a whole new jury on the RICO charge. Diddy will sit in jail for another year, and the government will have another. I'm just talking about the RICO charge, you guys. Just the RICO charge. I'm not talking about the other charges. They've already decided on the other charges. Listen, let me give y'all a perfect example. With the case with Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein had 3 counts against him, right? Well, the jury had beef with each other. They found Harvey Weinstein guilty on 1 count, not guilty on another count, and a mistrial, a hung jury on the other count. Well, this is what happened. On the hung jury count, right, it's all up to the prosecution. So the prosecution says this. All we do is go right back. If the jury can't decide, we go right back and we just run it right back. And what they do is that they get a new jury in another year. The feds will get more evidence in a new trial, and they'll just run it right back against Sean Diddy Combs. That's exactly what will happen in the RICO charge. So everybody who wants to know what happens if they get a hung jury, that doesn't mean Diddy walks out of jail and goes home. No, that means he goes back to jail and he sits in jail for another year and a half until they get another, let me say this again, another jury, and then he'll be in jail for another year. And hold on, this is just on the 1 charge, y'all. This is just on the 1 RICO charge. Y'all got to understand this. So it lets y'all know that they're split. It lets y'all know that it ain't just all not guilty in there. Because if some people feel like he's guilty on some charges and not other charges, it lets y'all know what's going on, right? So everybody who's saying no RICO, y'all don't understand what that means. That means that they have a person, at least one person, who don't want to say, yeah, he's guilty of the RICO, which means nothing. They run it right back. That means Diddy sits in jail, waits another year, and the government runs that back on him again. That's all it means. And it'll be a whole new jury that's coming on, right? So they're preparing a modified island charge, but the defense does not want that, right? Diddy's team want them to finish the deliberations. They don't want nothing, right? Which lets you know that Diddy's team, they want to get this over with, right? So to let y'all know that they found out about these, or they asked questions about these other charges, bro, if Diddy gets hit with guilty on one of the sex trafficking charges, right? Let me say this to y'all. And again, let me say this to y'all right now. Everybody's listening to this video, right? I want y'all to say this right now as everybody's listening to this video, right? Hold on 1 second and let me break this down to y'all. Hold on 1 second, y'all. All right. So to everybody that's trying to figure out what's going on and don't understand what's going on, I want y'all to hear what I'm saying, okay? All right? Just for everybody, right? There has been no verdict. There is no verdict. To the person in the comment section who said that, you're a liar. The verdict has not been came out. What are you talking about, dog? Stop lying. I'm going to block your ass for lying. This is the situation. Diddy has a real problem. Diddy needs everybody to say not guilty for him to walk away. Let me repeat myself again. Diddy needs everybody to say not guilty for him to walk away. The fact that they say that there is a person that doesn't want to find him guilty on the RICO, they're going to run that back. He doesn't get out of jail. The only thing that happened, let me give y'all an example. Everybody knows the rapper. If you guys haven't heard, there's a rapper named YM Melly. Let me tell y'all this, right? Let me explain this to y'all, okay? YM Melly has had a hung jury on multiple charges, right? Hung jury. He has been fighting for bail since 2018. He's still sitting in jail waiting on another trial because he had a hung jury, a mistrial, right? Harvey Weinstein just had a mistrial, right? Immediately, the prosecution says, nope, we're going to run that back. So now he has to go and do another trial again with a different jury, right? Because it's a mistrial. The only way Diddy walks out of prison out of jail today is if everybody says he's not guilty, which they not saying. The only thing the government have to do is, if they find Diddy guilty on one sex trafficking charge, he faces 15 to life in prison. So he's got 2 sex trafficking charges. He's got 2 prostitution charges, right? So Diddy is looking at up to 10 years on each prostitution charge, right? And what happens is this. If they can't come to a decision on the RICO and Diddy gets found guilty of anything else, or even if he doesn't get found guilty, he can still sit in prison and wait till the RICO comes back up and they run it back. This is what y'all got to understand. A hung jury does not mean Diddy walks free. You have to have every juror say not guilty or guilty for Diddy to get a verdict. So let me explain this. On the sex trafficking charges, everybody has said not guilty or guilty. On the prostitution charges, everybody has said not guilty or guilty. The only thing that they're split on right now is the RICO. Now, let me ask y'all this. Here's why they will be split on the RICO. The reason why they will be split on the RICO is because it affects Diddy's money. If he's found guilty on the RICO, the feds would seize all of Diddy's assets. That is the only reason why Diddy never took a plea bargain. Because Sean Diddy Combs did not want to give up all of his assets, right? So, and he will not get bail. If you didn't get bail the first time, they won't give you bail. Let me repeat that again. The only way Diddy would have walked out today is if he was given bail before. That's the only way he walks out of prison today. He wasn't given, if he had a mistrial on all charges. He doesn't. They've already came to a decision. So let me explain this to y'all. I'm going to give y'all an example. Diddy has 2 prostitution charges. If he's found guilty of both of those charges, he goes, and he's found hung jury on the RICO charge, he goes directly to jail and he goes directly to prison. The judge will give him a date to sentence him for the prostitution charges, right? The sex trafficking charges. Let's say he's found guilty on one and innocent on another one. He's facing 15 to life on each sex trafficking charge, minimum 15. So the judge would go from a minimum 15 years to life in prison on each one of the sex trafficking charges, right? So let's say now you have those 4 charges out the way. Now you have the RICO, which is its own entity. The special thing about the RICO is that involves the money, Diddy's money and Diddy's businesses. This is what y'all have to understand. The fact that it is split, it lets y'all know they don't all feel like Diddy is innocent. That is a problem for Sean Diddy Combs. Let me say this again. The fact that it is not split, that it is not, the fact that it is not, the verdict is in, ma'am. The verdict is in on 4 charges. Relax. You have to listen to ticket, how I break it down to you. Even right now, if the judge says, y'all go out there and deliberate more time, the judge can say, hey, look, they got 4 charges in, go back and deliberate some more until y'all come up with a decision on the RICO. If they don't come up with a decision on the RICO, it's a hung jury on the RICO. What does that mean? Let me explain this to everybody's listening. A hung jury means that the government will tell the judge, the feds, hey, look, we're going to run this back on that charge. So Diddy will sit in jail until he gets another court date a year or so from now, or a year and a half, and the feds will go back and bring forth more evidence, more witnesses in a new case to prosecute Diddy in front of a new jury on the RICO. That's what happens. You don't get to run out the courtroom when you have a hung jury. That's the same thing that just happened with Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein had 3 charges he just had in his retrial. He got found guilty on charge number 1. He got found innocent on another charge, and he got a hung jury on a 3rd charge. The government immediately said, oh, we're running this back, Judge. Harvey Weinstein has to wait a whole nother year to go back to court, just to deal with that situation. So, because he has to go, so if there's a split on the the RICO, and Diddy's found guilty on any of the other charges, which he will be, because it's a split on the RICO, so it lets you know some of them people already feel a certain way. He's going to be found guilty for something. That means he's staying in prison. Even if Diddy was... So let me tell y'all this. Basically, he ain't walking out of prison today. Unless everybody come back with not guilty on every single charge. That's the only way Diddy walks out of jail. Today. So Diddy's lawyers feel a way about it. If they're split on the RICO, it lets y'all know everybody ain't saying Diddy's innocent about everything. That's bad news for Diddy. This the part y'all gotta understand. It's not bad news for the government. It's bad news for Sean Diddy Combs. The reason why it's bad news for Diddy is because now a mistrial is all on the government. And the government surely will run it back. And here's why the government runs it back. Because their situation is different from other cases. Let me give you an example. Harvey Weinstein's case, right? Harvey Weinstein's lawyers that prosecuted Harvey Weinstein, they had to ask the witnesses, let me say this to y'all again, who testified for them, hey, do y'all want to come back? Now, they asked the witnesses, do they want to come back and prosecute Harvey Weinstein on that charge? They said, yep. They instantly told the court, yep, we're going to do another trial with him on that charge. So Harvey Weinstein has to sit in jail and wait another year and a half until he gets another case, a new jury, and everybody else. Now, let me tell y'all this. Listen, I want y'all to listen to what I'm saying to y'all. So now, here's the difference with Diddy's trial. A lot of those people got, Diddy's RICO trial is different because a lot of those people got immunity. They don't have a choice. They have to come back and testify because they took an immunity agreement. So they're stuck. Do y'all understand what I just said to y'all? They're stuck. Let me repeat myself again. And Diddy's trial is different because Cassie, Jane Doe, all those other people, they don't have an option. They have to testify for the government. The government owns them. The government owns them. You know why? Because they signed immunity papers, which means that in every single case the government have, they have to testify as many times as the government needs them, or they will violate their immunity agreement and be prosecuted. Listen to what I just told y'all. RICO was not the easiest because you guys got to understand they have a checklist. Let me explain this to y'all. On the RICO, I'm going to explain why the RICO is not the easiest when you have the way they did it. You cannot, the way they do it, they gave out a checklist. Let me explain this to y'all. So let's say I got 10 jurors in here with me right now, right? And I give everybody a checklist. Let's say everybody listening to this video, I gave y'all a checklist, right? Now listen to what I'm saying to y'all. I gave y'all a checklist and I asked y'all on the checklist, which of these crimes on the screen do y'all think Diddy committed and guilty of, right? Everybody has to agree on the same two for it to be RICO. If everybody doesn't agree on the same two crimes, it's not RICO. So some people may agree on witness tampering. Some people may not. Some people may agree on forced labor. Some people may not. Some people may agree on sex trafficking. Some people may not. Some people may agree on prostitution, transportation. Some people may not. They all have to agree on the same two, and they're all given different papers. This is what y'all got to understand. So if one person says no, nope, it's a no-go. It's a hung jury. Everybody has to say yes on at least two of the same charges. And it lets y'all know that somebody is saying no to where they can't get a unanimous on the two charges. That doesn't mean Diddy walks out of court. Now, let me let y'all know what's going on right now. Right? Right? So, again, right? They're going to read the Allen charge on the RICO count, right? So you probably won't hear any of the verdicts today. Even though the verdicts are in, you're probably going to hear the Allen charge read, right? So to everybody who's tapped in, let me just break this down for y'all, right? Let me break this down for y'all, right? Because Diddy's lawyer told the court, right? So after the jury basically reported a partial verdict, both the prosecution and the defense asked the judge to recall the panel and urged them to continue working towards an agreement. Diddy's lawyer, Mark Anglifo, told the court they'll collaborate on the exact language for the judge's instruction to bring the jury back in and press them to keep deliberating, right? So they're using the Allen charge, right? The Allen charge debate. So the prosecutors urged the judge to give the Allen charge, which is designed to nudge holdouts towards a consensus, while the defense opposed it. The judge is weighing both sides and indicated a partial verdict isn't yet warranted. So the judge wants a full verdict right now. He's going to tell them, hey, go back in there, see what y'all can do. Now, the courtroom was electric as jurors prepared to announce the partial verdict. Diddy sat in his usual spot, circled by his lawyers, right? He stared ahead, his hands and his expression was unreadable, right? I'm telling y'all that's going on right now. I'm showing y'all, I'm breaking this down for y'all right now perfectly, right? So listen to what's going on right now. And I'm going to say this to I'm going to explain this to all y'all again. If the jury cannot come to an agreement on the RICO, here's the problem for Diddy. If they can't come to an agreement on the RICO, that means that some of them people think Diddy's guilty. Diddy, to walk out scot-free, needs every juror to say not guilty on every charge. They obviously ain't doing it. So, if it goes to, let me repeat this again, if it goes to a mistrial, all they do is run it back. The government will say run it back. And here's the reason why it's easier for the government to run it back, right? Now, here's the reason why the government runs it back, y'all. The government will run it back. Let me say this again. The government will run it back with a different jury, and Diddy will have to sit in jail and wait on that. It's because they control all of the pieces. Because all those people got immunity agreements because most of them were involved in these crimes. So let me tell y'all this. When you sign an immunity agreement, you have no control over whether you got to go testify. Normally, in a normal situation, if you had witnesses, a witness would not be implicated in a crime. You're just a witness. You wouldn't be implicated in a crime. You're just a witness. But Diddy's case is different. The witnesses that turned against Diddy helped him, aided and abetted him. So they were in legal trouble. So they had to sign immunity agreements to cooperate with the government. That means not just for Diddy's case, but anybody else's case that's involved that comes up after this, the government can use all those witnesses that they gave immunity and say, you got to come back in here and testify again. So if it's 20 other people, they got to go to court 20 more times and testify. That's how it works. The only way Sean Diddy Combs walks out of prison is everybody on every charge got to say not guilty. And the fact that he don't have everybody saying not guilty on the RICO, let y'all know where the jurors' minds is at. Somebody thinks that some people think Diddy's guilty of some of this shit because they said that the mindsets were unshakable right now. Now, listen to what I just told y'all. So Diddy is facing a minimum. Let me hit y'all with this again. Let's forget the RICO. The only reason why the RICO is important right now, and I told y'all this is what changed up in this case. In this case, what changed the entire ball game for Sean Diddy Combs is when they hit him with the special sentencing for the sex trafficking. If Diddy is found guilty one time on one of the sex trafficking counts, he faces life in prison for each one of those sex trafficking counts. That is the curveball in this entire case. If Diddy is found guilty for sex trafficking Cassie or Jane Doe one time, the judge can sentence him to life in prison, just without the RICO. At first, he was only facing life for the RICO. Now, the RICO is important to Diddy because even if Diddy gets 20 years, here's the problem, and here's the reason why Diddy did not take a plea deal and went to court, y'all. Diddy did not take a plea deal and he went to court because if he took a plea deal, he would have to forfeit all of his assets. And his mother, his sons, his family, everybody would immediately be broke. So realistically, Diddy went to trial to fight it because that's the only chance he have to keep his money. So it ain't even about the time with the RICO. The RICO now is all about the money. That's it. Because the sex trafficking charges is the problem Sean Diddy Combs have with prison time. Because the judge, just for one sex trafficking charge, can give Diddy 15 years to life in prison. Then the judge can get creative. The judge can either stack Diddy's time or he can run it coherent. What do you mean, Ticket? Let's say they find Diddy guilty on one sex trafficking charge. The judge can say, Sean Diddy Combs, I give you 26 years in prison for that one sex trafficking charge. Let's say Diddy's found guilty for 2 transportation or prostitution charges. The judge can say, Diddy, I give you 10 years for each count of prostitution charge, right? Now the judge can do what he want to do. He can stick it to Diddy and say, Diddy, what I'm going to do for you, sir, is you're going to serve those years consecutively. Meaning, you got 26 years for the sex trafficking charge. You got another 10 years for the first transportation charge, which is 36 years. And then you have another 10 years for the other transportation of prostitution charge, which is 46 years. Or the judge can say, I'm going to do it concurrent, Diddy, which means is he takes the highest year charge, which will be the 26 years, and then it basically offsets the 2 10-year sentences, which means he'll do it concurrent, which means that he will only do 26 years. But it's all on the discretion of the judge. And I'm going to tell y'all why the judge is going to stick it to Diddy on the time. The fact that the judge refused to give Diddy bail is bad news for Sean Diddy Combs. The fact that the judge refused to give this man a $50 million bail. If Diddy is found guilty of one of the sex trafficking charges, the judge is going to give him no less than 20 years. Just for the one sex trafficking charge. No less than 20 years for the one sex trafficking charge. Now, here's the catch. Diddy would have to go back to court if it's a hung jury on the RICO. So his money will still be in holding. He would have to go back to court to a new jury, a new whole case with more evidence from the prosecution, because they're going to have a whole another year to come up with evidence and retry the case for the racketeering. And now all those witnesses that signed immunity agreements have to come back to court again and testify again. They don't have a choice because they signed the immunity agreements. The only way Sean Diddy Combs walks out of prison is if every juror finds him not guilty on every single count. So let me tell y'all this. Even if they say not guilty on his 2 sex trafficking charges, But they say, no, he's guilty on the 2 transportation and prostitution charges. The judge can still give him up to 10 years for each of those charges, stack them, and then make it a 20-year sentence. And there's nothing that he can do about it because nobody can overstretch the ruling of the judge on the sentencing factors. That judge has so much power on those sentencing factors. It's crazy. So the people who say he's getting away with his dirt, no, it's not about him getting away with his dirt. If he's found not guilty, but if it's a hung jury, it only means that they run it back again. That means that Diddy has to sit in prison for another whole year or two and wait for another, let me repeat myself again, wait for another trial. I want y'all to hear that, right? So everybody that got immunity would have to go back and Diddy would not be released. He said he had to sit in prison the whole time. The same way he sat in prison for this, he had to sit in prison the whole time. So the person who said all he wants is the money, no, that's not true. They're going to put him in prison. But that's the thing. It's letting y'all know that they didn't come back and everybody didn't say not guilty. Man, Diddy don't got everybody on that jury, bro. That let y'all know that right now. He don't. So what y'all need to understand is Diddy does not have the whole jury. He doesn't have he might not even have but one juror. And the only thing that does is delay his process and make him have to go back through this and use more money paying them lawyers. And let me tell y'all something. Diddy's lawyers would love a mistrial. You know why Diddy's lawyers would love a mistrial? They get paid more money. They be on the clock for another whole year. Diddy would immediately cut lawyers if there was a mistrial. He'd immediately cut lawyers. There's no way he'd pay all his lawyer fees for over a year. So he would immediately cut lawyers until closer to his retrial date. He'd sit in prison and wait for another retrial date. And that's bad news for Diddy. And here's the reason why that's bad news for Diddy. Because now the feds, who didn't have a long time before the trial to gather all the information, now the feds are going to go crazy. How do I know that? They did the same shit to Harvey Weinstein. When the feds brought Harvey Weinstein on his retrial, the feds came in the retrial with more charges against Harvey Weinstein. Because when the feds came back, they brought in a minor at the time to testify against Harvey Weinstein. So they added, and that's the thing, they can add more things to the RICO as far as their investigation goes into the next trial. More witnesses. It gives the feds ample enough time to do thorough and further investigations. Remember, the feds have unlimited resources. So the only way Diddy walks out is if all the jurors say not guilty on every single charge. And the fact that they can't even do that for the RICO lets y'all know that all the jurors are not in the courtroom saying Diddy's not guilty. Like all these people on YouTube said they would be. Because these dudes on YouTube said Diddy's walking out. Hey, man, he going to walk free. He ain't walking free right now. Because shit. They saying, hey, man, some of these people's opinions, they can't, hey, whoever it is, they can't overturn their opinion. Right? So let me let y'all know what the update is, what the official update is, right? So basically, right, the judge says, I wouldn't call the government's proposal an Allen charge. It reminds the jury of the instruction I previously gave. On the duty to deliberate, I could simply recite from the jury charge, right? Now, he goes on to say, Diddy's lawyer says, well, we're not at that point yet. I'm not saying we wouldn't be at that point on Thursday, July the 3rd, or Monday. Let's wait and see. I'm putting stock in that they reached verdicts on 4 counts, he said. I'm going with that, but, right, I may give more later, is what he said. I may give more later, the judge says. The judge says, I could tell them that they could return on July the 3rd. We could arrange that. We'll do the parties thing. The government says we like to give them the option to deliberate on the 3rd. Diddy says, 1 second, Your Honor. The judge says, okay, yes. Diddy says, our preference is that you don't tell them now about Thursday. The downside is that the jurors might feel rushed to reach a verdict to avoid the Thursday issue. Let them deliberate tomorrow. You could ask at the end of tomorrow. The judge says so the defense would have no objection to them deliberating on July the 3rd. Diddy's lawyer says no objection if they want to. The judge says, okay, let's bring the jury back out. Right? Now listen, now watch this now. Right? 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 So again, listen to what's going on. Right? Peep game now. As the jury is coming back in the courtroom and the judge gonna tell them, hey, look, y'all gotta go back out there, you know what I'm saying? And hey, man, you know, straight like that. So the judge says, welcome back. I received your note that you've reached verdicts on counts 2 through 5. I ask you to continue deliberating, discuss and weigh your respective opinions dispassionately, and follow my instructions on the law, is what the judge says. Right? Right? Listen to what I said to y'all now. Listen to what I said to y'all now. Listen what I say. So he said, you base it upon the law. This is what the judge just told the jury. So Diddy's fate has already been decided on other charges. Right? And they've deliberated for like, what, 15 hours? Man. You know? My guess is, y'all, Diddy knows he's found guilty on some stuff. The thing Diddy's worried about the most is the RICO. Diddy's worried about that money. He's worried about that money, y'all. That nigga scrambling and scraping right now. He worried about that money. Sean Diddy Combs is worried about that bread, bro. He worried about that shit, bro. Because, I mean, the RICO is the biggest one because of his money. But the ante was upped when this man is facing 15-year minimum. So let me say this to y'all. If the jury finds him guilty on one sex trafficking charge, the judge can give Diddy life in prison. Just off, and all you had to do was one time. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I believe they're gonna find that nigga guilty. Right? So the jury has concluded for the day, and they will start again tomorrow. Right? So tomorrow will be a major day to see if they find a verdict on the RICO as well. Now, if you ask me, when they find him guilty on one of the sex charges, the judge is probably going to hit Diddy with 25 years. He's going to go 25 years on a sex trafficking charge. Right? That's how I feel like the judge is going to go on it. So when you're doing 25 to life, that's pretty much, you know. And then the transportation charge, if it's 5 to 10, he'll probably give Diddy 5 on the transportation. That's 30 total. Stack them, he'll probably give him 30 years. That's pretty much life. That's what I've been trying to tell y'all. Like, that's life in prison. But if they can't get him on the RICO, Diddy will leave with his money. That's the big thing. The RICO is the big thing for his money. Right? His money. Because if they hit him with the RICO, man, they're gonna take everything from that dude, bro. And his mother, his kids, all of them don't got nothing. And so if y'all want to understand why Diddy doesn't walk away, all you gotta do is look at the YM Melly case. YM Melly was arrested in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. He's still in jail right now, waiting on a trial date from a mistrial. This is 2025 going on 2026. That's how bad a mistrial can be. It just holds you in jail. And with the mistrials and a hung jury and a mistrial, it holds you in jail. But what it does to you is this. It holds you in jail. It gives them more time to investigate, right? But it puts you in a horrible position if you're Diddy. Because, hold on one second, y'all. Hold on one second. Yeah, so the judge dismissed the jurors. So, man, Diddy don't got everybody. He know. Diddy know right now. And trust me, they're going to have the feds watching these people like a hawk. I'm telling y'all this. Like a hawk. Like a hawk. So tonight, it will be absolute. Man, they're going to have all kind of private investigators watching these jurors. They're going to be tracking these people's accounts, everything. Because the RICO is for all the money. And what does Diddy care about the most? The moolah, baby. He care about that money. See, the RICO at first meant everything because it was the money and it was the time. But when the feds hit that nigga with the special sentencing for the sex trafficking, now it destroyed Diddy. Because if he gets found guilty on one sex trafficking, one, the judge can give him 30 years. He can give him life if he wants to. But Diddy will face no less than 15 years in prison for one count of that. And the judge, by looking at the judge, he didn't give Diddy the $50 million bail, which means the judge doesn't think too much of Diddy. Yeah, he gonna hit that nigga with the judge gonna hit that nigga with the sonic boom. He gonna hit him with the sonic boom. Right? So it just goes to let y'all all know. Everybody's learning about court in here right now. It just goes to let y'all know. And who y'all don't know about the special sentencing is something different, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all this. That special sentencing, man, crushed Diddy on the sex trafficking. Crushed him. Because the judge agreed on it. Which means, if the judge agreed on the special sentencing, y'all, that means that nigga finna hit Diddy with the goddamn rock bottom, yo. Because the special sentencing made the sex trafficking charges, each one of them, a minimum of 15 years. That means the judge, that nigga don't like Diddy at all. And if he get found guilty of one of them sex trafficking charges, the judge gonna hit his ass with the rock bottom. Trust what I tell y'all. And you can say cap all you want to. Just make sure you stay right here for the verdict, sir. And when you get the verdict, the judge won't give him I don't think the judge is gonna give him the time automatically. I think he has to come back and have another sentencing hearing. So it'll be like a little while later, like a couple months, a couple months, and then he'll come back for the sentencing hearing, where the judge will go over all of the litigations and stuff, and then he'll give Diddy the time he decides on. And I think once the judge go back and look through everything that happened and look at Diddy's, and here's the problem. Here's where Diddy's condescending tone came back. And I'm gonna tell y'all this right now, right? To the woman who says Coco Bay Area, you said you're not 12-man jury, am I all think like you? I didn't say they did, ma'am. I'm telling you the factual information. I'm telling you that if Diddy gets found guilty, it's a fact that he faces no less than 15 years in prison for only the sex trafficking charges to life. That is this. See, let me tell you something, ma'am. People can come on YouTube and talk all that shit. Oh yeah, I think Diddy's only gonna get 5 years, something like that. Are you crazy? Nigga, there are sentencing determinations. There are sentencing structures for each of these charges. Meaning, ma'am, if Diddy is found guilty of one of the sex trafficking charges, he goes to prison for at least 15 years. There ain't nothing nobody can do about it. Those are the sentencing factors. The special sentencing factors. So let me say this. If they found, and they don't even have to show a pattern of sex trafficking. All they have to do is show sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion one time. Which I'm telling y'all, they found him guilty on one of them sex trafficking charges. And I believe it's going to be Cassie. The judge can hit that nigga with a life sentence just off that. Just one. Without the RICO, without the prostitution, ma'am. Learn the law, lady. And then, if the judge want to get jiggy with it and start doing the Harlem Shake, if Diddy gets found guilty on the transportation of prostitution charges too, the judge can say, oh, you want to get jiggy? Okay, I'm going to give you 25 on the sex trafficking charge. I'm going to give you 10 on each of the prostitution charges, and I'm going to stack them up on your ass. That's 46 years, sir. Bang that gavel, and you up out of here. Straight up. This is why it's important to know the law and don't listen to opinions. When I come in here, I don't give y'all opinions. I gave you the law. I gave you the law. This is the part people got to understand. Diddy is shitting bricks right now. Why? Because he knows the whole jury doesn't believe him on the RICO. See, y'all thinking of it the other way. You got to think of it the other way. That Diddy doesn't have everybody right now on that RICO agreeing with him. That's a problem. That's why Mark wants him to go back. Because you know why? Diddy's lawyer on the RICO don't want a retrial. You know why Diddy's lawyer don't want a retrial? Let me repeat myself again. On the RICO, he'll want a retrial on a sex trafficker, right? Let me say this again. He don't want a retrial on the RICO. Why, y'all? Because a retrial on the RICO means that the government have another year and a half, or whenever Diddy's court date comes back up in another year and a half, they have more time to investigate Diddy, and they will get a new jury. His lawyer don't want that. His lawyer would rather get found not guilty on the RICO right now than have to get a whole nother jury and give the feds another year to investigate and get even more witnesses. And I'm going to tell y'all something. If Diddy's found guilty of any other thing, the government's going to get all those witnesses they couldn't get before. They're going to instantly get them. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Because they saw that the jury already found Diddy guilty on partial charges. They're going to be scared and flip. They're going to be like, nah, I can't do that. They already found this nigga guilty on some of these charges. No dice. Listen to what I said to y'all now. They don't want the government. That's why Diddy wanted a speedy trial. They don't. The reason why a person asks for a speedy trial is for two reasons. For one, they don't want to sit up in jail all that time waiting on the trial. For two, they don't want the government to have time to get way more witnesses and conduct a more thorough investigation. Because what's going to happen is going to empower more people while Diddy's sitting in jail to come out and testify against him in the retrial to make sure they yam his ass. That's why Diddy lawyers don't want a retrial on the RICO. Learn law. Learn law. And the verdict is in. They've already reached a verdict on 2, 3, 4, and 5. They only did not reach a verdict on count number 1, which is the RICO. Right? And let me explain that to y'all again. The RICO is so crazy because of this. Each juror is given a form. I can't tell this juror, hey, this is what you need to do. You need to do this on your form. Nope. When I give each juror a form, Each juror have to use their own notes and their own thought process on following the law, right? So listen to what I just said to y'all, right? Listen to what I just said to y'all, right? I want y'all to understand this, right? The RICO's not getting dropped. Herm, you're wrong about that. Think about what I'm saying to y'all. So when they give them checklist, right? Everybody gets checklist. Like, it's almost like a paper that y'all see on y'all screen. I got the actual paper, but I ain't put up on the screen right now, right? Right? I want y'all to think about this. On the screen, it's a checklist beside each of those things. Do you feel like this was proven against Sean Diddy Combs beyond a reasonable doubt? Every juror checks yes or no beside each charge, right? Then what happens is they take all of the forms and they count up what everybody said. The problem is, to get Diddy on the RICO, every juror have to agree on 2 charges. So you could have every juror agreeing on different charges, but not the same 2. If you don't have that, that's a mistrial. The only way Diddy walks free is if every juror says he's not guilty on every trial, on every charge. That's the only way Diddy walks free. Period. And to the person who said I was wrong, what do you mean I was wrong? I was not wrong. What are you talking about? Mississippi Pimpin' TV, I'm not wrong. What are you talking about? You sound like an idiot. What are you talking about? What are you talking about I'm wrong? Are you stupid, dumb, deaf, or blind, nigga? What the hell is wrong with you, boy? What the hell is wrong with you? If you ask me, I told y'all. I said Diddy's verdict is going to be here on Wednesday. I told y'all this. I said I think Diddy's verdict is going to be here on Wednesday before the end of court. Go back and listen to my video before the case started. I put my prediction. I told y'all. I said in my prediction, everybody heard my prediction on this channel. I said I think Diddy's going to be found guilty on every single charge. RICO, 2 sex trafficking, 2 prostitutions, and I said I think that they're going to be back before the end of the day on Wednesday. That's exactly what I said. Go back and listen to that video, asshole light. Go back and listen to that video I said. Go back and listen. And like I said, if you want to put your money up, put your bread up. He ain't walking out of court. Put your bread up. Put your bread up. That nigga know he already got found guilty on a couple of them charges. He know it. How do he know it? Because of what's going on with that RICO. I'm telling y'all this. If Diddy was walking, they would have already had the full verdict today. This should have been easy. They'd have already had the full. If Diddy was walking, they would have already had the full verdict. Listen to what I said to y'all. I'm just going to block you. You an idiot. Right? People, what I just said to y'all. So like I said, hey, bro, listen, I'm not going to sit up here and argue with you all day. All I'm going to tell you to do is this. Just put your bread up, my nigga. I'm going to tell you you know, hood educated telling people, just put your money up, bro. I ain't even keep talking to you niggas. If y'all niggas think Diddy gonna walk free, if you that stupid, put your bread up, nigga. This easy money. This is easy money. That nigga had 0 witnesses. You gotta understand, when you go look at this stuff, you have 0 witnesses. So everybody's like, oh, why don't they agree on the RICO? Because you gotta understand, every juror has to agree on the same 2 charges. So it could be one juror that don't agree on witness tampering, one that don't agree on bribery or forced labor, one that don't agree on the sex trafficking. So hey, you say what you feel, how you want to feel. Bet that though. See, none of these troll accounts gonna bet that though. Them niggas ain't finna bet that though. Them niggas talking. They're not gonna bet that. Tell them I said bet that though. Put that bread up. Bet that shit, nigga. I got an open checkbook on this shit. Bet that. All the niggas talking, ain't none of them niggas came with no bread on this shit, though. Somebody says he's still doing life. He gonna spend the rest of his life in prison. Nigga, I told y'all. Don't y'all know that a 30-year sentence is what they call equivalent to life? Diddy's 56 years old. 30 years for that nigga is life. Don't y'all understand this? What's wrong with these people on YouTube, man? 30 years in federal prison at 56 years old? Life, nigga. Right? I'm telling y'all this. But that's right, bots ain't got no bread, though. That shit gonna end, though, after the trial's over with. Then they're gonna be talking about a pardon. First they're gonna be talking about an appeal, then they're gonna be talking about a pardon. That's what's gonna happen. That's what they're gonna be doing, y'all. They're gonna be talking about an appeal, a pardon, all this other stuff. It's gonna be 1,000 excuses. Bro, we already did the video on Sister Gina. Sister Gina is a capper and a liar. And Sister Gina shows y'all. Her interview with Tasha K told y'all everything. Now she want to come out running her mouth. It's set up. Where was she at the whole trial? Why didn't she get on the stand and testify for Diddy? That was a dumb move to make. That was dumb. They should just left her in the cut. Because everybody knows she lying. Don't nobody believe nothing she say. Yeah, it's raining in the background. Pouring down. Don't nobody believe what she's saying. Everybody knows she lying. Everybody knows she lying. I don't even think she got nobody that believe her, bro. Not nobody. They all of a sudden, TMZ all of a sudden found Gina walking down the street. Come on, man. Stop playing, man. And their question, do you think that Diddy's a animal if he gets... Bro, y'all cut this out, man. Stop it. It's hilarious, nigga. She went on Tasha K and said the man stomped on her stomach while she was pregnant. She also said that the man was abusing her, putting her against Cassie, all this other stuff, man. Diddy was calling her a hoe, mentally abusing her. Now all of a sudden she said, oh, he's not dangerous, isn't it? I tell you, meanwhile, she riding that new BMW. Did you see it? Did you see the new BM she was riding in? Okay, then. That lets y'all know everything y'all need to know. Where'd she get that bread from, nigga? She wasn't riding a hoopty. She wasn't riding a Mazda. She wasn't riding a Honda Accord. She was riding in that new Benz truck. I mean, that new BMW truck. Straight like that. Come on, bro. Y'all stop playing these games, man. I'm surgical with this thing, my nigga. I'm surgical with this thing. So what's going to have to happen is they're going to go back in there and find the parts they disagree on. Period. I think the judge is going to do as much as he can to avoid a mistrial on that charge, on that one charge. And if it goes to a mistrial, they're just going to run it back. And that's bad news for Diddy. Because once again, if you give the feds more time, man, that shit going to get up. And Diddy's going to be in jail too. So he ain't going to be able to like move like he want to move. That's like, bro, I'm telling y'all this. It's going to be bad for him, bro. You know what I mean? Now, we won't know today. The jury comes back tomorrow, and the only thing they got left is the RICO charge to deliberate. Everything else they figured out. So the fact that y'all know that they haven't all came, if Diddy was not guilty, they would all came back and said he's not guilty today. On all charges. Then they would have walked out of court today if they all felt like that nigga wasn't guilty. That lets y'all know that it's people on that. And I'm gonna tell y'all how I know he got found guilty on some of them charges. Because them niggas gave the judge a note and said that the juror number 25 didn't want to follow the instructions, nigga. So that, like I said, if you got free money you want to give me, go on make that bet, nigga. I'll take your shit. If you got free money that you want to give me, I'll take that bet. That's easy work. The fact that they told the judge off the jump that juror number 25 did not want to, and that's on the record, follow the instructions. Now y'all know what they're gonna do. Fully investigate juror number 25. Juror number 25 can't do shit. They're gonna investigate all their family, all their friends, everything close to around them, anywhere communication, they're gonna investigate. Juror number 25. They're probably doing that right now, checking every single inch about juror 25. Any links, anything. Think about what I just said to y'all. So you had people in there that were being honest, right? So that let y'all know right there, Diddy's in trouble, man. That nigga, for Diddy to be out of trouble, everybody would have had to say, nah, he ain't guilty. If everybody thought Diddy wasn't guilty, they would have already came out and said, yo, not guilty on all counts. That's easy work. Let me tell y'all something. If they all thought that it was a lie, that all these people that they brought in here said, they would have already came out and said not guilty. Peep game now. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all this. The problem is that when you do those check sheets, if everybody doesn't have the same two things checked, then it's problems. You know what that tells me, y'all? Let me tell y'all what that tells me, everybody. Somebody on that jury is checking no on everything, in my opinion. Because if everybody else is checking yes on a majority of those things, and somebody's checking a majority of no's, somebody's holding that RICO up. Think about what I just told y'all. Listen to what I just said to y'all now. Somebody's holding up that RICO. Because think about this, y'all. How you can't get 2 out of all those charges up there? Everybody has to get 2. So if somebody I'm telling y'all this. Now, here's the problem. If there's anything going on with jury tampering, man, bro, anything going on with jury tampering, bro, and they can prove anything about, man, that holds major time, bro. That's a major issue, bro. Now, I'm not alleging jury tampering, but I'm saying to y'all, if they ever come up with something that is jury tampering, I'm telling y'all this, bro, it's going to be ugly, y'all. I'm promising everybody that's listening to this video this. I promise y'all this. Right? And so his fate is already sealed on those other charges. And the fact that they were asking the judge stuff like that, bro, listen, man, if he was not guilty, they'd already came, all of them would have said, oh, nah, he ain't guilty. They would have already had him not guilty on most of all them charges. And the RICO. Because if they all thought he wasn't guilty, I mean, this would have already been a wrap. Well, I mean, listen, I don't want to say that Diddy paid the juror. I don't want to put that allegation on him right now without no evidence. Because some people, you know, some people feel just, you know, don't rock with the law, man. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't rock with the law enough to where they say, you know what, I'm going to get on the case just to screw it over. So you got to understand that. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't rock with the law at all, so it ain't nothing you can tell. So the only thing that's going to happen is mistrial, retrial, new jury, government, more time, more evidence. That's it. Because they're going to go hard to get that conviction. So that means they're going to go in they're going to go in the extra mode. And then you're going to see a whole bunch of superseding indictments in the next couple months. Or you're going to see a whole bunch of new evidence whenever that retrial comes up. Plus, I think they're going to hit Diddy with more indictments anyways. Right. Y'all hear what I'm saying? So, and I'm talking about in other states too. Y'all gotta understand, he's being charged in the Southern District of New York. This don't stop other places from hitting Diddy. This don't stop California. This don't stop Florida. That's the part y'all gotta understand. Y'all really gotta understand this stuff, man. This man got damn near 100 lawsuits against him, right? So they've already got two, three, 4, and 5. They've already came to a decision on that. The fact that y'all don't see, and the reason why Diddy is like he is, because he know that RICO is everything, bro. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I believe Diddy loves and cares about his mother at this point, and his children. So that RICO charge is gonna sting because Diddy may be at a point where he is at peace or he knows he gonna do time, but he don't want to lose that bread though, bro. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. You don't. Diddy does not want to be a person that's locked up in federal penitentiary without no money. Because you don't have no money. Guess what happens, y'all? You ain't got no control no more. You don't have no leverage no more. When the money goes away, so does the leverage, so does the power, so does everything else that comes with it, y'all. All that stuff goes away. I hope y'all understand that, right? I hope y'all understand that, right? I hope y'all understand that, right? Right? I hope y'all understand that, right? No, he didn't get off, y'all. They came to a verdict on 4 of the charges, but they haven't read it yet because they're hung on the RICO, on the racketeering. They're hung on that, so they didn't come to no charge on that. That's why they haven't come to no charge on that. That's why. No, he can't. He won't get a plea deal on the next go around on a mistrial. You got to understand something, ma'am. You keep saying he's going to go to a plea deal, or motivation now. Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry, sir, or ma'am. I don't know if you're a man or a woman. He's not doing that. If Diddy was going to go to a plea deal, he would have already did it. The reason why he didn't plea is because if he pleads, he has to give up all of his money and all of his assets. That's a part of the plea deal. That's the reason why he's fighting the case, because he doesn't want to give up his money from the RICO. If Diddy took a plea deal, he has to give up the money. That means his family instantly goes broke. Y'all gotta understand that nigga gonna fight that shit forever. Diddy's gonna fight that RICO forever, right? So again, y'all have to understand that. Counts 2 and 3 are sex trafficking counts against Cassie. Sex trafficking count against Jane Doe. Counts 3 and 4 are prostitution, transportation of prostitution counts. Those transportation of prostitution counts are for 2 of the sex workers that Diddy paid. 2 of the men Diddy paid to have sex with the girls. He gonna get found guilty on that. That's a lock. So that's the situation. You know what I'm saying? Somebody says P Diddy's not going broke. Don't tell DJ Vlad that. DJ Vlad said that Diddy was being cheap with it. He heard Diddy was being cheap with his lawyers, wasn't paying for the right amount of investigators he need, and was just being very cheap. And he says that they were saying that you think that somebody was fighting for his life would put more money into his defense. DJ Vlad said that in the interview with Roger Bonds. And then Diddy's sons out here, they got banks and stuff coming out to them, man. His one son owes $17,000 on a credit card. Like, come on, man. So again, just because people say they worth something, that don't mean that's how much money they got in their account. You know what I mean? It's like the illusion of people who say They balling but got on fake jury. You think it's real because you think they get money like that. Right? For example, y'all seen a lot of the rappers and a lot of the ballers and all these other celebrities come to YouTube. Why? They used to laugh at YouTube, but YouTube getting money. So, and when they seen that, they're like, damn, we laughing at YouTube. Shit, they out here getting more money than us. Right? So, yeah, everybody got to see this stuff going on. You know what I mean? But it's hard for Diddy in this case because they watching him close, y'all. They watching Diddy like a hawk. Nah, they take all your money. And they go overseas, get your money. If y'all watch it, if y'all read the indictment, y'all will see it. The money that they say is in his mom's name, all that stuff, they going to get all that. I don't have a jury form on me right now. It's in my computer. You damn right they didn't sequester him for a reason. The government's smarter than what you think. Smarter than what you think. So everybody that's asking these questions, I'm just letting y'all know what the deal is, right? Let me hold on one second, you guys. Let me right. Let me see. Let me see. So yeah, they may be giving the Allen charge, y'all. The government says they're planning to modify the Allen charge, but Diddy's lawyers don't want that. So you guys definitely let me know what y'all feel, man. Right? Now they both agreed on the Allen charge, right? But you're not going to be really hearing no verdicts today. So, yeah, man. And Diddy's lawyers, they don't want to rush the jury. Diddy's lawyers, let me tell y'all something. Diddy's lawyers don't want to rush the jury because he know the jury gonna want to go home for the 4th of July. He don't want to rush the jury, so they say, man, all right, man, this nigga guilty. That lets me know that it's probably one person that's holding this shit up as far as the RICO. Diddy's lawyers don't want this nigga Diddy lawyer. That nigga Diddy lawyer was like, nah, man, don't tell him, man. Don't tell him about July the 4th. Don't tell him about Thursday, he said. Don't tell him. Man, bruh. Diddy's lawyer is hilarious. He was like, yo, don't tell him. Don't tell him. About July the 4th. Don't tell him. Man. Crazy work, bro. Oh my God, bro. And my guess is though, man, tomorrow afternoon, man. That's my guess. I told y'all this before the trial. Listen, if I hit this shot, man, them niggas better not never mess with me ever again, bro. That means I had to call all this shit down the line. We going jackpot, nigga. If they hit tomorrow, y'all, I don't want to hear nothing else from nobody, man. Nothing. Because I told y'all, I said by the end of the day on Wednesday, I think they're going to come with a verdict of guilty on all counts. That's what I told y'all. Diddy has the hope. Then he got people over there talking about, man, I got to go home, man. It's bullshit right here, man. You know? All right, man. Guilty, man. Get it, man. You know? Because you don't want jurors fighting and pressuring each other. You just want to respectfully go through the evidence and say, look, man, you know, boom. You dig? Yeah, I told y'all this. Man. Somebody asked me what stock I like. Hey, bro, man, y'all crazy, man. Oh, my God. Next, y'all going to be asking me what's the favorite number so y'all can bet them numbers. Y'all crazy. Nah, man, I'm just saying, bro. I'll be honest with y'all, man. I think that, you know, that's a bad sign for Diddy, bro. That means he ain't got all them jurors saying not guilty. Pastor, what's going on, baby? Salute to you. He ain't got all those jurors saying not guilty. That's a bad sign, bro. If you Diddy, that means they don't all believe that you're innocent. That nigga ain't gonna sleep at all tonight, bro. Man, bro. And it could just be one person that they gotta just get to come say, you know what I'm saying? The question is will that one person hold out? Will that one person, if it's one, will they hold out? Now, if it's more than one, if it's split, oh, you got a problem. Because that means, boy, man, they serious about that RICO nigga. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man.
All right, you guys. So we appreciate everybody that popped in, supported this video. Make sure that you guys shop our merch. We got that new A Weapons merchandise right there below this video. All you got to do is look below. The links will be pinned at the top of the comment section as well to get the merch, to donate, support the channel, and subscribe to our podcast show. You'll see all those links pinned at the top of the comment section of this video. And we appreciate everybody that supports this channel and our networks. Also, that straight drop weight loss formula. Go to the website. You guys will see that. A link for that will be pinned at the top of the comment section as well. Go right there for all of your weight loss needs. Straight drop weight loss formula. We have a lot of testimonials on the website. You can go to www.str-8-drop.com and get you some of the weight loss formula today. Take your weight loss serious. Get in the gym, work out, exercise, and do what you got to do. Stay on point. We appreciate everybody that's been locked into this video. Again, all the links are pinned at the top of the comment section below. Salute to all of y'all. And again, we appreciate everybody who support what we doing over here.